this kanji means either house, in which case it's pronounced ie, or my home, in which it's pronounced uchi. Now the only way to tell whether it's ie or uchi is actually from the context, so it can be a little bit tricky. Now let's have a look at how this character evolved, and hopefully you can see what it's a picture of. Now this is the most primitive version. This is between 3,000 and 4,000 years old, and hopefully you can see here in each case there's a structure, a building. You can see the walls and a roof, and then inside this little squiggly thing is actually a side-on pictograph of a pig. Now this one here is fairly clear. I don't know why the house is upside down, but you can see the head is at the top, then the back goes down here on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side you can see the legs. In some cases it's clearer than others. This one here you can more or less clearly see the tail, the head up this end, and then the legs on the left hand side. Let's have a look what the more modern characters look like, the ones that are only approximately 3,000 years old. Here they are. These are the bronze characters, and again in each case you've got that very clear house structure. Let's go back now to the first one. Oh my goodness, that's so clearly a pig there in the house, but he's actually with his head down. This one's also got his head down. Oh, this one's facing the opposite direction with the head up. This one's very much more like the one we've got today. So legs down the bottom and head up the top. And if we just scan, this one here is very much like the modern one. This one also, legs on the left, back on the right. But you can see there's quite a deal of variation. But in each case, I think it doesn't take too much imagination to actually see clearly under that roof is in fact a pig. Now these are the seal characters from about 2,000 years ago. Again, in every single case you can see that roof structure, but now clearly on top you can see that little line, that chimney. Oops, that one doesn't have it. Oh, neither does that. But most of them have a nice clear chimney on the top, and that is part of the modern character. Now the pig shape becomes a little obscure in these characters, but if we have a look, I'm sure we can see one that works quite well. Well, I'm struggling to see a very clear pig shape. Let's have a look at the top ones. This one, I suppose it's got a head and a sort of tummy. But if we have a look up to the standardized 2,000-year-old seal characters, this one here is very close to the modern one, and you can see the legs, at least in the tail, quite clearly. Okay, let's see how we're going to write this character. Well, first of all, we're going to pop the chimney up the top. Then we're going to do the left-hand stroke of the roof, across and down on the right to complete the roof. Now comes the pig. Now this bit here is the pig's head. Then we've got the legs, 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally here we've got the pig's tail. Now why is a pig under a roof a house? Well, in ancient times, in ancient China, the family's livestock, the pigs and so on, were actually kept under the roof of the house to keep them safe and warm. And they were the main source of protein for the family, so they were very important members of the household, and they had their own area under the roof. So that's why a home or a household has a pig underneath, because that is a well-fed, happy household. Let's have a look at the stroke order. Stroke number 1, pig's head. Stroke number 2, front leg. Stroke number 3, pig's back and hind leg. Then we have the other remaining 2 legs. There we've got the 4 legs of the pig and the curly tail. Doesn't quite look like a curly tail. You'll have to use your imagination for that one. And there we have the character for either house or home. That's uchi or ie.